What if Peter Parker wasn't the one who got bitten by the radioactive spider? What if the person who got bit was someone who did not live by the mantra of with great power comes great responsibility? What if that person was an egotistical bully who was only interested of taking care of himself and he killed Peter Parker? Welcome to Comicstube YouTube channel. In today's video, we will review what if Flash Thompson became Spider-Man. So if you guys are new here, please subscribe and turn on all the notifications to never miss any future uploads. Please like, comment and share. All the text and images are owned by its respected company. You can support them by purchasing it digitally or from any offline stores. The issue opens up in New York City. The people are panicking, they are running with their lives, and then the panel reveals a brutal and cruel Spider-Man who is beating up a bunch of villains called the Master of Menace. But Spider-Man's rampage is terrifying the public. There is also one man in that spot who is taking the photos of Spider-Man destroying his villains, the Daily Bugle photographer Peter Parker. The boss of that group tries to run away from that place, but Spider-Man catches him, and by mocking the leader, he begins to brutalize him. But before he can take his life, the cops arrive at that spot and stop Spider-Man, and he is pissed at the police as Spidey thinks he does all the hard works, and when the situation is settled down, the cops show up and take all the credits. The fight is over now, but one girl gets scared, so her mother comforts her by saying that it is over, nobody else is going to get hurt. But her words drive Spidey mad, as he was the one who saved their lives from those criminals. He is the hero, and they should be thanking him. And then he notices Peter Parker, and he blames him that because of him and his damn news photos, they are turning the people against him. Peter tries to convince him that he is just taking the photos, he doesn't make the news. But as Spider-Man proceeds to punch Peter in the face, the cops point their guns at Spider-Man and force him to leave the place. The angry Spider then heads into a rooftop. He removes his mask, and the man who was beaten by the radioactive spider in this world was Flash Thompson, and this world is presented by the Watcher, who is none other than Nick Fury. He opens the books, reminding us about the existence of other dimensions, other timelines. Like Peter Parker in this world, Flash Thompson visited the science fair and he gained the spider powers. He used it to make money. But unlike Peter, Flash was ruthless. But there were other differences as well, like stopping the burglar and saving Uncle Ben's life. Unlike Peter, consumed by worry for his Aunt May, haunted by a guilt and a sense of responsibility that left him uncertain on how to defend himself from criticism, Flash embraced his heroic self-image. He permanently quit school to become Spider-Man full-time and soon become the most popular superhero. And his true supporter was J. Jonah Jameson. As in the main continuity, Peter Parker saved John Jameson's life, and it turned John's father against Spider-Man, who saved his son's life. But in this world, John was killed in his spacecraft, and Jameson believes the government is trying to cover up his son's death. And he also thinks people like Spider-Man is needed in this society to save innocent people's life. He takes all the photos of Spider-Man from Peter, but the situation is not looking so good for Peter. His Aunt May is admitted into a hospital fighting against blood cancer, and the only medicine can save her life is a rare radioactive isotope. But unfortunately, the shipment of that isotope was hijacked last night by some criminal called Master Planner, and it breaks Peter's heart. He's working hard, sell those photos just to get money for Aunt May's treatment. So Uncle Ben comforts him and tells him that both he and May are proud of him. He did the best he could. But Peter asks him, what is the point of being responsible if he can't help the people when they need it most? But then Peter gets an idea, and he knows a way to save his aunt's life. The panel then jumps into a camp where Flash is staying. His neighbor informs him about the rent. His landlord was asking about it, so Flash replies he will get his money. So the old lady advises Flash to get a job, work for a living. She sees him every night, probably partying with his friends, and her words drive Flash mad. He angrily pushes her away and says he was the captain of his high school football team. People look up to him if they know he was. But then Flash stops himself, and without arguing anything, he enters into his van. But as he opens the door, he sees Peter Parker with his spider costume, and it shocks Flash. He He quickly snatches the costume and asks him what he is doing here. Peter gets nervous and he says he put a tracker on his costume. He meant to use it to get the photos and sell them to the Daily Bugle. But the real reason he came into this place is that his Aunt May is dying and the only medicine that can cure her cancer was stolen. But none of his words reach into Flash's ears. He starts to believe that Peter was always jealous of him. Even back in school, Peter hated him cause he was a star and Peter was nobody. Peter tries to convince Flash that isn't true. The master planner stole that isotope and without it, his aunt will die. But Flash yells at him and at the world that did not understand him. And driven by rage and anger, Flash punches Peter into the chest and he accidentally takes his life. Peter's death makes a toll on him. He constantly telling himself that he is a good guy, he is not a killer, and then he notices the news, which is reporting about the stolen isotope. Horrified at his actions and to get some redemption, Flash goes to confront the master planner and recover the isotope that is needed to save May Parker's life. By threatening and interrogating a lot of criminals, Flash finally arrives into their hideout and he comes face to face against the master planner, who is actually Dr. Octopus. So without thinking anything, he jumps on Doc Ock and engages in a fight. The fight becomes intense, but it destroys the support pillars of that building, and as a result, the entire building gets collapsed on top of Spider-Man. Doc Ock manages to escape, but Flash gets trapped inside the rubble, and it repeats the same moment when Peter got trapped under the building. The death of Peter strikes into his mind. Flash thinks all of his life he wanted people to look up to him, but now he realizes he is a bully, a killer. He is no hero. But maybe for once in his lousy life, he can stop thinking about who he wants to love him and who he hates. He can finally stop being scared that he is not good enough, because he is not. He is not a hero. Finally, Flash manages to free himself and he recovers that isotope and delivers it into the hospital to save Aunt May's life. But because of his actions, the Parker family lost their son. Flash could have rejected his crime, but stricken with the guilt over his actions, he decides to become a good guy and he delivers himself to the cops for the murder of Peter Parker and he heads to prison for his crime. And with that, the What If chapter of Flash Thompson became Spider-Man comes to a close. So which part you like the most? Please share them on the comment section down below. And please like this video and do subscribe, as this will motivate me to make more contents. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.